is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kemp with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I have a very, very cool guest. She is joining us all the way from Zurich, Switzerland. So this is super cool. It's morning here for me, in the afternoon, evening for her. She speaks English, German, and Japanese, a very diverse background there. She is the Queen of Joy, inspired by deep thoughts and creating a purposeful life full of joy, fun, and joy. She's also an author. Please welcome Ronja Sakata. Ronja, thank you for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Thank you so much, Diana, for having me. That's so cool. I love Zoom, like connecting two continents. How amazing is that? When I met my husband 21 years ago in Japan, there was no Skype, no Instagram, no Facebook, no, nothing. We could email or get on the phone and pay a lot of money for having a conversation. So my journey of joy, it sounds weird, but it really started at the open grave of a friend when I was 17. And I remember this scene. It was December, it was so cold, and my tears were so warm on my cheek, and my best friend buried her boyfriend, and I have chills now. She was whispering, "I love you," throwing a rose into this frozen hole where this coffin was down there. It was devastating. And when I was 17, it was just clear to me, life can be over in a second. He died in an avalanche. So that was like, okay, it's not forever. And then over 10 years, a lot of my friends died because of other avalanches, bike accidents, and it was just, we were at funerals all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And then my sister's best friend died 10 years later because of a heart attack, and she was 25. So I was like, okay, I don't have to go motorbiking. I don't have to go skiing. I don't have to go to tours, where it's really risky. I can drop dead in a second at home. So I better do what I want. I better spend my time wisely with people I love, with things I want to do. And that's why I'm so passionate. Let's enjoy this life. Let's be kind together. Let's not waste time moaning or complaining. Of course you can complain, but not for weeks or months. Come on, get your shit together, and do something you want and which you're passionate about. So that really, really made me, you said I'm a food engineer. I loved this subject. I was teaching 12 years at the school for professional food technologists. It was a school for 15 to 18. They were teenagers. So I learned a lot there, but then I was like, I don't want to teach process engineering anymore. I want to teach about joy. And that's what I do now. And I love it.
That's amazing. That's quite the story. I see. Now I was lucky enough not to really experience a lot of death for most of my life, until my late husband passed. Then it's like, now I'm getting at a stage in my life where more and more people are starting to pass away. So, I mean, that had to really kind of shake you a little bit and maybe give you a little, did you feel a little traumatized by losing so many people at a young age?
I think with my best friend, we did a really good job grieving and taking all the steps. And I knew him myself, he was a friend, but not so close. So we read books. We talked so much about that. And if I go to a funeral, I'm a mess. I'm bawling really. Every funeral is coming to my mind, but it really made me cherish the moment. And I would never say goodbye in a fight, or not even slamming doors and not saying properly goodbye. I never do that. And sometimes I'm a little scared, will I see him again? Will I see her again? But I think it's not a trauma. It brought me more in my life, more awareness of the preciousness of spending time together.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I after my journey, we talked about this briefly, that, my late husband, he passed away about 6 years ago. And that was, I did not grieve for a couple of years. It was like I was just on go. I just kept myself busy. And when I finally allowed myself to grieve, it was like around Christmas time for like a whole month. I really didn't go out. I was kind of bored, like bored myself up in home. I was drinking a lot and I just cried and cried and cried and cried. And actually, it's going to bring tears to my eyes. And I finally just like let myself forgive him, you know, and I made a choice. Like, I have to decide what kind of person I want to be moving forward. I have a second chance at life, so to speak, you know, because I still want a family. You know, I still wanted to, you know, I love being married. I don't know about you. I love being just a partner to someone. I'm not one that's dated around a lot. You know, I've tried and then I'd stop. Like, you know, over the last 6 years, I try and then I stop. I just would be not see anyone for like 6 to 8 months until I met my now fiance, soon to be husband. But at that point, after I was done grieving, I was just like, you know what? I need to choose to be happy because it's just wasted life then if I don't wake up every day, no matter if you know, you're going to have bad days, right? But I
Yes.
have to decide to be happy. So, you know, and I think a lot of people think that happiness is very external when really it's very internal.
You can choose happiness, and I think happiness is like, for me it's like loud and bubbly, but
Mm.
joy can be very quiet. You can feel
Okay.
joyful
Yeah.
when you are like watching a sunset and it's no music,
Yes.
and no
Yes.
movement. It's just joy, and joy
Yeah.
can be a hug with somebody you love, or just a little moment if you smile and then a stranger smiles back. That's not happy, but it's joy.
Yeah.
I
No, I
I love
understand.
words, and I think there are differences, and it's, for me it's very important, in my work, that you find your own joy, what brings you joy,
Yeah.
and create it, consciously create it every day, just something little.
Yeah.
Take your favorite teacup, not the one with the bits and pieces off. Put that away. You deserve the beautiful cup every day, not only on Sunday. Like, treat yourself like the queen you are, and create joy. And it's not the weekend, the gorgeous hotel, or the
Yeah.
yoga retreat. It's like eating your food with bliss, and enjoying it
Yes.
without being in a hurry or something like that. It's really, really possible. And sometimes people get upset, like, you're joyful all the time. That's really annoying. I said, it's my
No.
choice, and I'm doing things for that. I meditate in the morning, I journal, I take care of myself, because this could be my last day. I want to enjoy it. And of course, sometimes I'm grumpy. My
Yeah.
my daughter can tell you, but she sometimes calls me out like, Mama, I thought we can choose our mood. Why are you so grumpy? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's so
She's calling
true.
you out. Well, your
Yeah, I love
smile
it.
is absolutely beautiful, and I can feel the joy radiating off of you, and it's infectious. I'm like, I just love it. You've got a very great energy about you. So, I just thank you for sharing that with me and my audience today. You actually wrote a book called The Joy
Yes.
Compass. Can you show it to us?
The joy compass, and it's really all about that. Like, first, a big chapter is, what do I want, and not doing things you think you have to,
Sure.
to make your grandfather happy, or whomever has some expectations laying on you. Like, what do you want? And the wheel of life,
Yes.
this tool, it's so simple, but if you really sit down and really do the work of thinking of every area of your life, what do you like, what do you don't like, and what
Yeah.
do you want, and then your vision is just crystallizing. And then you're like, oh my God, I just don't want this job, I don't need this money, I want to live in a tiny house in the mountains. And then you go there. I hope so. You go
Yeah.
there, and if you realize 2 years later, like, oh no, that's not it, but I did it, you don't have this thought like, oh, I would be so happy in the tiny house in the mountains.
Yeah.
Try things, do things. Maybe you meet somebody gorgeous there, and you will move to LA afterwards, and total opposite. Who knows? But do the things you are like drawn to, because why not? And
Yeah.
and just just create the life you want. And everything you don't like, of course, some things or circumstances we can't control, but always we can choose how we want to react, or just say no more. That's something I teach too, say, no, I'm not coming to this gathering because just no, you don't have to explain yourself all the time. Spend your time like you want to spend it, and the rest is magic. But being pulled and pushed, or feeling pulled and pushed, even though you were the person who said yes to that or this,
right?
Like, can you do me a favor? And you say yes right away, and you're like, oh my God, I have no time. I'm running around for you for free. Like, say no more and say yes when you mean yes. And that's so valuable too, also for the other person. If you say yes only when you mean it, that's so good for everybody involved. Oh, the puppy.
Yeah, Athena, she's the one to pop in, the little stinker. She's kept me busy the past couple of days. I love that, Ronja. I think that is very relevant, and I think especially these days after the last couple of years, people really need to kind of sit back and find their joy. I think that I was using happiness in place of joy, but I understand what you mean, and there are times in the car where I just love being silent in the car and just sitting there and just embracing the moment. And I think that that's where, I find some joy. And like what you say, like smiling at people, just random people. I think that is such a great exercise for people to do, is just when you make a conscious effort to smile at others, because that you don't know how you're going to change their day. You know what I mean? And I think even though everybody's wearing masks these days, I try not to.
You can see the smile in the eyes, even though there is a mask. I think you can see the change. You can tell.
Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. I don't know if you've heard about this new, innovative, creative, convenient, diverse product called All Things Clean. So let me give you a quick demo. And I'm going to actually have my mom come in here with me. Mom, can you come here? Did you see how this is stuck to your wall effortlessly?
That is awesome. I am so excited. I just looking at this. Go ahead, put that up. Let me see how that works.
This is the one board they have. And so they have a whiteboard as well. And so here, you unroll it, and then you put it on the wall. Mom, you want to help me with this?
Sure.
And so all you do is put it on the wall. There you go. And now you can do whatever you want with the markers. So, Mom, what do you think this would be good for?
First of all, with work, the endless possibilities. Think about it. If you're at a trade show and you don't want to bring a lot of stuff with, you can put this up there. You can write some stuff on there. When you're at work, you have these impromptu meetings. Grab this, slap it up on the wall, do some brainstorming, fixing.
We have some birthdays coming up in our family.
Oh my gosh! Happy birthday!
I think it's Louis. My nephew's birthday.
Happy birthday! Think about it. You would go around the whole room and people can come in and everybody can sign it. I'm really excited. I'm going to be using this.
I know. I'm very excited too.
Deanna, I want to see how easily this peels off. Let's just make sure. They say easy on, easy off. Holy cow, look at that.
You guys, have you not seen how great this product is? For at home, at the office, presentation, wherever. I have a special exclusive discount for you. They're giving me 15% off with free shipping and free markers. The code LABEL15 at cleaners.com. That's right, 15% off, free shipping, free markers at cleaners.com.
And the possibilities are endless.
So how do you implement this as a life and business coach, teaching people how to embrace their joy?
I designed or just came up with the Joy Academy, which is a year-long program, because you will find your joy in 6 weeks. It's just not possible. These changes need time. It's all about habits. If you are always telling yourself every day, I'm not a morning person, I'm grumpy in the morning, you have to, if you want, you don't have to change anything if you don't want to, but if you want to relearn things, then it takes time. And then, for example, decluttering is a big topic for some people. That's really the biggest issue. Every time they come home, they're like, oh my God, this mess is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So let's do it. This is the year where your stuff is gone. And like since Marie Kondo wrote that book, you know, the with the what does it spark joy is the magic question.
Yeah.
And then I do a lot of meditations, you know, imagine your space, like you look around and every item there is sparking joy. How about that? And people are like, wow. But then some participants or some clients, they're like, what should I declutter more? Maybe I can order my spices in the cupboard nicely, you know, they're just perfect at home, but maybe they are very angry because of several people did something to them, and they have something to declutter inside and free themselves from that baggage. So it's kind of the whole life, you know, the wheel of life, and you choose which topic is important to you or a priority. And then in, like I say, it's mindset. How you think determines how you feel determines how you act, and that just makes the whole difference. So it's mindset, the vision, what do I want, and then habits. And habits are so unsexy, you know, but if you choose habits which again bring you joy, that changes everything. And this could be just, if I make a coffee, I drink it intentionally, and it's not like, oh, where is the coffee like it's gone already, because you just drank it in a rush.
I'm guilty of that. Yeah,
guilty or not, you know, it depends on if you bother, if that's a problem for you or not.
Right.
We can do everything how we want, and we don't have to be mad at ourselves if it's okay for us, you know. But if you're like, I shouldn't, or if you're blaming yourself, you can stop and think like, okay, I don't want to do it like this. How do I want to do it then? And then like step by step, and having your vision like a light tower the right word? Like the
light tower. Yes. Or
like having it in the future, you know. And I love the meditations where you meet your future me. Have you done that?
No, I used to be on a good I used to have a good habit of doing meditations every day, and I kind of fell off of that, which I really need to get back to it, because it is such a great exercise, such a great habit to get into, to find your center and
and did you do like quiet your mind, no thoughts, or guided meditations?
I've done both. It's really hard for me to quiet my mind. So, I mean, the guided has helped me, but there have been a couple times where I've been able to quiet my mind, but it's hard for me. It's very hard.
For me too.
Like bing, 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 bing. Oh my God, shut up.
That's why I love the guided meditations. And my clients, most of them are not into meditation before we start working together. So it's like, oh, that's like story time. And then you can leave your mind like inventing things and seeing scenes like in a movie, and it's fun, right? So meeting your best version of your future self, and you can choose in 5 years, in 10 years, and sometimes I do the exercise, you know, how old do you want to become? Like if you could choose, and perfect health, perfect like your mind is working, your body is working, how old would you want to get to become? Is that the right So that's so interesting how people choose, like, oh, 80 and I'm out, or like, ooh, I would love to be 105. And then you can meet yourself at that age in your best version, you know, the best version. And the best version is not like boring best. It's like every time she followed her intuition, you know, and she did the fun things or the crazy things or the things people said, no, don't, how dare you do that? But it was exciting. And meeting your old future self, that can be so touching, you know. People say now, I was in tears, she's so gorgeous and so wise. And then you can ask your future self questions, really, like today, you know, your struggles today, like what do you do? And like, oh, come on, just chill, because that's not counting. In 10 years you will forget about that. Or it's like, she really, like, you should do more sports, Ronja, if you want to become me, because I'm very lazy with movement. I do some yoga, you know, but jogging or something, it's like, no. And when your future self is calling you out, it's so much, it's just easier to take that advice, you know. It's not somebody else, it's your most gorgeous future self, like telling you you should do that. And that's so cool.
Gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
I can send it to you. You can try.
Yeah, send it to me. I love it. Well, I mean, is there a link? Can I put it in the show notes?
Yeah, we can do that. If for a sign up, that would be the
Okay.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah. Where can the audience find you if they're really connecting with you and wanting to learn a little bit more about what you offer or learn more about your book? Where can they find you at?
My website is joyismycompass.com. That's my website, and also my handle on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm trying there. Still finding
it's hard to try there though.
How I want to be funny, you know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm quite boring, I think, but I have to find my twist, how I want to do TikTok. But like at Joy is My Compass, you find me everywhere. And if you Google Ronja Sakata, you find everything else what I do. I think I'm the only person in the whole wide world with that name.
It's a very unique name for sure.
Yeah. And you know, before I got married to my husband, my name was the most common one, or the second common one in Switzerland. It was Müller. Like in English, it would be Miller, like so common. And now I got lucky with that name.
That's awesome. Before we start wrapping things up, you also have a podcast, correct?
Yes.
And what's the name of your podcast?
That podcast is called the Let's Create Joy podcast. And I'm doing solo episodes with what I think is helpful for you. And then I have interviews, quite long interviews, where I ask people like, what does bring you joy and how do you create joy? Because that's so interesting how people are different, you know, and that's what I'm passionate about. You have to find out how you create joy for yourself. And it's not the same. And the Joy Academy is not at all like, I know it, you have to learn what I know. You find it out yourself. That's what's important.
I love that. You guys, I will put all those links in the show notes. So please don't hesitate to go follow her, go check her podcast out, reach out to her if you have any questions and you just want to find your joy, go buy her book, The Joy Compass, and I will make sure all those links are in the show notes. Ronja, before I say goodbye, I always ask my audience or ask my guests for any last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with the audience today?
I love that. It's really like, let's be kind together because the humans are all the same. Let's be kind and be kind to yourself. You know, this self-love thing is it's really important. It's not to push away. Everything starts, if you like yourself, everything gets easier. Every connection gets easier. Success is just waiting for you if you are self-confident and have your self-love ready. And it's a journey. It depends on how kind you are at the moment. If you are calling you out or bitching about you all the time and correcting and just judging yourself all the time, let's ditch that. I can teach you how to ditch that step by step if you want, and be kind to you and everybody you meet, and joy will accompany you to your gorgeous future. And I hope you become a very healthy, very cool, super old future self of you.
I love it. You have been an absolute joy. I would love to have you back. Keep us posted on any updates, any new things you've got going on. If you write another book, we'd love for you to come back and share that with the audience. I loved talking to you. I could talk to you forever. So we'll definitely have to make this happen again.
Thank you. That would be so much fun.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yes. Awesome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kemple with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to review, listen, share, follow, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.